This is a project where I'm going to focus on the shapes first and then the composition next. And the idea here is in Photoshop, I want to gather a series of silhouettes to represent the shapes and build those silhouettes into a library of channels. So when I work on the composition, I can select those channels and use them as masks. So this is my process to basically start to do some research and gather these silhouettes. For example, let's say a teacup. Here you go. So lots of images to work with. So I pick this one. I say it looks great. My internet's a little slow. But once I find something I like, I just go ahead, I right click, and in the menu that pops up, copy image, I go back into Photoshop, and then I go into my channels palette over here, and this is how I'm keeping things organized. I have channels to the left, layers to the right. I go into my channels, I click the little piece of paper icon, I create a new channel, and then I paste that teacup in. Now, the channel should represent the thing that I want to see in the composition. So I actually want to see the silhouette of the teacup in the composition. But right now, the way it's set up is if I were to apply this as a mask, the only thing that I would see would be the negative space around the teacup for now. Because white reveals in a mask and black hides. So if I apply this as a mask to a layer, the white is going to be what you see and the black is going to be what you don't see. So to actually get a channel that has the thing I want to reveal, the thing to be white, which is the teacup, what I do is I first fill in the background, this black background, with white, and then I deselect, and then I just do an inverse on everything. So this is the basic, these are the basic shortcuts to do that. So first I'm going to hit Shift-Control-I, and that's going to inverse my selection. On a Mac, I believe it would be Shift-Command-I. So that inverses my selection. So on a Mac, it would be Shift-Command-I. On a PC, it's Shift-Control-I. It inverses my selection. And then what I'll do is I'll fill that black, that new selection now, that's the inverse of what I had, with white. So white's already my foreground color. So I just have to hit Alt-Delete. On a PC, on a Mac, it was going to be Option-Delete. And that fills my selection with white. Then I hit Control-D or Command-D on a Mac to deselect. And then I hit Control-I or Command-I on a Mac, and that will create my inverse. So what I have now is an inverse of a teacup. And what I can do is I can bring an image into Photoshop. So let's say, so let me look up something, whatever I would like that teacup to become. So let's say elephant skin. Let's wrap the teacup in elephant skin. So here's some nice elephant skin images. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy image, and then I'm going to paste that now. So I'm just going to hit Command or Control V. I'm pasting it in a layer. So what I have to make sure of when I paste this, and I want to paste it as a layer, I have to go into my channels now. If the teacup is selected as a channel, what I want to do is just click on RGB, and that will bring me back to my layers with the channels that have always been there, which are those RGB channels. And now I can paste the elephant skin into the layer. And then what I can do is go back into my channels and then Command or Control click on the teacup, and that will become a selection. And then hit my mask icon on my layers palette. And now I basically have that teacup with the elephant skin. So what I would do is just go through and just gather a lot of silhouettes. So here I'm selecting a skyscraper silhouette. Maybe something here. It's going to be maybe a backdrop of some sort. Let me see one. I like this one better. So I'm going to right click on this, copy image, go back into Photoshop, click a new channel, Command or Control V to paste. Here I want to scale this up a little bit, so I'm going to hit Control T, hit Shift drag the corners. So now I scaled it up. In this circumstance, I don't have any black border, so I can just go ahead and hit Control I, and now I have another channel that I can use for another part of my composition. And I'll do it one more last time. So I'll find, let's see a skull. Again, I'm going to right click, copy image, go into Photoshop, click a new channel, Command or Control V to paste, scale it up, Command or Control T, Shift drag a corner, make it bigger, Shift Control I or Shift Command I to inverse. Then it's Option Delete or Alt Delete to fill with that foreground color. Then I Command or Control D to get rid of the background, and then I hit Control I to inverse. So that way now I have more of these little silhouettes to play with, and I can just use these in my composition as I add more layers to the composition.